This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said. Nightmares, I don't care, I love it.
It is the AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. I am Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ready to get geeky with you. Katie is on assignment hugging a plush Animal Crossing bear of some sort. From what I understand, no, Katie has some other duties, I believe fan duties, is so out of state or whatnot. I think this is the traveling week for her, if I'm not mistaken. But don't worry, we got plenty of awesomers to go around. First of all, the one usual awesomer on the show from Studio C in the Big D of Dormont, PA. It is John Chichilla. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Of course, our gadget guru from Big Bank International, Esquire. Yes.
I feel very dark. I usually, I don't know if I normally wear a dark shirt, but I feel very dark.
You're fine. You got a lot of bright colors going on over there and stuff. Oh, and I also have you duplicated in the corner. We'll take care of that right now. So that goes away. But also back with us, another tech dude. Ron Krause, Crazy Krause is back with us.
Hello, how are you? And I just realized, Sean, we match. I have a black shirt on also.
Oh, look at you guys. I wore the bright, brighter for me. It's a whole gray shirt. But that's, I definitely go dark usually. But thank you. Hey, good to have you back, good sir.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
What
a week, huh?
It was one of those weeks where the news said, "Oh no, Krause needs to come back for this one."
Yeah,
because I realized you were doing all the things I'm doing, and we'll get into that Game Pass and everything else like that later in the show after maybe probably a little bit during our awesome things. But in the meantime, please go check out everything at AwesomeCast.com. Please subscribe to the AwesomeCast on your favorite podcast player and device, not device, on your device, wherever it is. I mean, I guess it's a device. It could be the Echo. It can be your phone. I don't know. Maybe you download it to your iPod still. But anyways, you can email us at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com if you're interested in any comments or advertising opportunities about the show. Tweet us at AwesomeCast and hit up the AwesomeCast Facebook page and group. A lot of great stories throughout the week, including the ones that you guys actually share with us over at the AwesomeCast group. You can be part of that. And also give a shout out to our partners at the 405media.com and postindustrial.com. They've been sharing what's going on with the AwesomeCast to their audiences, and we really do appreciate that. And you can be our audience live for the show here. We haven't opened up the studio just yet, but in the meantime, you can definitely do that over on the AwesomeCast Facebook page, the YouTube page for the AwesomeCast, and the Sorgatron Media Twitch page, where the AwesomeCast goes live on all those platforms at 7 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday night. So we appreciate everybody does jump in there, and we are trying to keep an eye on all three of the chat rooms, and you guys can be a part of the show that way and let us know what you're liking, what your opinion on things, what we're getting wrong, whatever the case may be. And thank you to our Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/awesomecast. You are supporting the show. Thank you so much for your March payments that just came through here, or I guess April pay. I don't know if it's from the past month or the current upcoming month. I can't remember if it's a pre or post pay when it comes to Patreon. Either way, it came through. Thank you very much. It's going to seriously help a lot of things going on here around the studio and keeps things rolling. It's a part of that that goes into the kitty to keep the lights on. So thank you to our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky, and Scott McTaggart of the Pitchworks podcast. And thank you to our friends at the Fan of the Show level, Michael Fedor, pghmuseums.org, Professor Buzzkill with his podcast, and Dave Podner of the iPhoneography podcast. You guys support the show, too, at patreon.com/awesomecast. You do get some Patreon additional stuff. We're going to talk about on here, but there was even more initial thoughts on Game Pass, Outriders, TV subscriptions, things like that here on the pre-show that we're going to put on Patreon sometime this week. So we do appreciate, and you get a little bit extra content. It looks like you guys have been watching it too, so we appreciate everybody that is dropping in there on the Patreon. So let's get into our awesome things of the week, and in not memory, in the fill the Dutter's hole that's in our hearts right now. Chilla, I'm going to start with you because you're going to talk about amiibos, actually.
So mine's a bit of a callback to last week.
Okay.
When we were talking about the scarcity of the cards for Animal Crossing, and I think the night, not that night right after the show, but the next day, I caught wind of, hey, did you realize that the majority of the amiibo bins are floating around out on the internet, and you can buy blank NFC stickers, and you can upload pretty much any amiibo. So the first thing on the list, because this is like two things you need in addition to the amiibo files. There are, and you can get different ones. These are the ones that came recommended to me, and I found out over the weekend that this is what my brother-in-law also purchased. It is what is the name of those?
The NFC stickers? Tagmo?
Yeah, the Tagmo, or no, I'm sorry. They're actually N-Tag 215s.
Okay.
The Tagmo and Placebo are the iOS applications.
Okay.
And what this allows you to do, and there's a couple different kits that you can get. They actually have a starter kit that has stickers and coins. So if you want to put your sticker in a coin, I've actually seen some interesting things on the interwebs where people are taking their 3D printer and they're making some kind of cool coin case for the actual coin thing, and then they're actually selling it as like a amiibo ripoff, which I thought was kind of funny. But these allow you to upload any NFC info to the tags. I've seen the 215s and I think the 225s. But these are, it's just a starter kit, runs you a whole, you can spend anywhere between like $7 and $13. If you need 50 of these things, it's going to run you about almost $19.
Wow. So it's a low bar to get into this, financially at least.
It's a low bar to get into it, but I have a feeling that Animal Crossing has sent the blank NFC tag world into a tailspin, because much like those cards, the scarcity of blank NFC tags is also on the rise.
Oh no.
Because a lot of people are doing this, to the point where if you look at the second thing on the list, which complements the N215 tags, there is actually an app called, I'm guessing it's Ally, A-L-L-Y. Collect and back up your amiibos.
Feels like Ally, but I could be wrong.
It allows you to scan, back up, and restore amiibos, and you can also use it to write out.
Because, of course, if you can back it up, you can share it.
Exactly.
So a good idea, but
it's interesting too. And I'm not going to give. I don't think I'm not a big proponent of piracy. That I viewed this more as a learning exercise. But so I'm not going to give you where you go download all the other stuff. Obviously, you could clone someone's information. It was interesting, though, when I was looking through some online artifacts where people were backing. I've never used the amiibo other than to unlock something special in a game, but I guess you can store like your character on there with like its stats. for certain games.
Is this a web-based thing, or is it can't be uploading it into the NFC? It's taking the NFC and somewhere it's registering this is what this means, right? Like,
No, it's writing to the NFC.
oh, really?
Those tags are writable. They're blank.
See, to me, I thought NFC was like, I don't know, I guess I kind of imagined it like a QR code that here's the information, right?
Mm-mm.
And it was static. But you're telling me that it's actually a writable, like, not a drive. Yeah, like a drive, I guess, sort of. A very small.
And you have to get special tags. Like, I'm guessing the NFC in the Amiibo are write protected or whatever. Like, you're not changing. Well,
Right.
I don't know. No. Because, like I said, I think in some games, like Smash Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
you could upload your information into that. And I thought the point of it was to kind of be able to take your character to another person's house, like way back in the Nintendo Wii days. But people actually have published like their high-end, high-powered characters. So if you kind of know where to look, you can also download those and then write them to an NFC tag, and then you have like these super powerful characters in different games. I also wouldn't be surprised if someone has figured out like, hey, I can go in with a hex editor and change this number and it quadruples my hit points or attack power or whatever. But I just thought it was interesting that all this tech's out there. And the other side of me is like, while different companies sell different NFC tags for putting around your house to, you scan your phone on it and it turns on a light or it identifies you as you and then does something.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the same thing from the NFC tag perspective. If I can write information to them and use, like, put one on the back of my phone that has all of my data, like my name, my phone number, all of that kind of stuff, and then I can use it kind of as a business card. We've seen those business cards that are NFC capable.
Right.
I'm wondering how you also do those types of formats. I mean, the applications for this are endless. So definitely check out that Ally for iOS, not to be confused with Ally Bank. So if you search the App Store for ALLY, you're going to get a bunch of bank information. If you look for ALLY NFC or ALLY Amiibo, whatever, you can find the app pretty quick. It does come at a cost. I think it's like $4.
Yes. So over did you mention the website already over at ally.ninja?
Ninja.
Wait, you can get it .ninja. Wait, I'm going to get everything .ninja. I don't care what it costs. No, it says one-off purchase $4.99, and there's actually a link to the app in the App Store. So I feel like Nintendo is probably catching wind of this. I cannot. I mean, as litigious as they are, I imagine sooner or later there's going to be some kind of question mark on something like this. So, but we'll see, and hopefully get it while you can if you're going to do it.
It seems like with some of these, you kind of need like I could see them getting rid of the ones that are for going after the amiibos, but I think there will always be an underground way to do this, just based on some of the things I've been reading.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're actually going to be able to eradicate it, but you can definitely kind of try to prevent and go after some of this.
Absolutely.
Hey, I don't know if you guys saw Amanda's comment in the chat, but she said there's a Pittsburgh restaurant using NFC tags so you can view the menu.
Nice.
I've seen a lot with QR codes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of QR codes too, but
that's cool. I'd like to see how they implement that. I'd love to do an exploration on that. Maybe we can, it'd be cool. I've seen like QR codes. Well, I see when we get stuff from lensrentals.com, there's usually a little QR code on there, and I'm sure that's how they track inventory when it comes in and out, right? And pieces and everything like that. Everything from like down to the SD cards have them. Like, I'd be curious if NFC would be something to do something similar with, again, equipment tracking, things like that. for something like here, or friends that work hard that deal with equipment, renting and borrowing all the time. Like it feels like a pretty applicable case. So, hey, I want to get let's keep it technical for a minute. We're gonna bridge this a little bit and come back to video games with Ron here momentarily. And I actually changed mine up. I was gonna bring something old in, but I realized after something that I posted today that actually this really kind of applies here. So, John, you talk about VPNs and virtual machines and stuff, and a lot of times it's got my head spin, but I finally dipped my toe into it. And I think I've used a VPN before for one thing or another, but so as you know, I talked about a little bit on here about how Peacock kind of took over the contract for WWE. WWE Network went off the air as of Sunday. You cannot subscribe to it. You have to subscribe to Peacock, right? And a lot of wrestling fans, WWE fans, are not happy about this because while it is a cheaper endeavor, the stuff that we've been enjoying for the last 7 years and that building of the catalog they've done of old stuff like wrestling I grew up on Sunday morning, like the syndicated show from the late 80s, early 90s is on there, right? And then the same stuff for the same era for WCW, or here's Smoky Mountain Wrestling, or here's the ECW stuff. And Peacock, doesn't even have every pay-per-view, which was something they touted when they even launched this thing 7 years ago, right? So it's just a mess right now and not good. It's a second-class citizen on another platform. It's not good for American wrestling fans that are WWE fans. Let's qualify that. But that's in the U.S. In other countries, the WWE Network still exists as it has always exists. It still carries on in this weird alternative universe. So I explored VPNs, Chilla. So you could. It wasn't not a VPN in the fact like you want to get back to your house, but VPN in the fact like you want to. Yes, this is of course
hide your identity.
Yes, it'll be like, hi, I'm completely in England. So. And I researched, and that I can tell this is not illegal. This is potentially against the terms of service for whatever you sign up for. If I start logging into Canada and stuff for Netflix, not that I heard they do it too much, but they could, if they start detecting there's a VPN or strange behavior with their logins, they can be like, yeah, you just logged in Canada and then America and then this and that and the other thing. Like they can, I mean, worst case, they delete your account, right? So there's that. I mean, there's a little bit of risk if you decide to start kind of poking at a lot of these things, which really in the long run, you use a different email address and you sign back up, right? So I was playing with it, and I wanted to do a demonstration video for the wrestling fans on our YouTube channel, and I used ExpressVPN. I hear about it every week on the Twit network, and everything that they recommended, it sounded like a lot of other VPNs do not work, specifically with WWE Network. Like they'll detect them. But this is one of the best ones. It's like $13 a month, but you can get down to 8 something if you buy for like 6 months or a year. And I needed it for business anyways, because I'm gonna start traveling and I want to try to be a little safer. And when I'm in hotels, use VPNs and things like that. That say I'm in America, by the way. And Chilla, I'm amazed how easy it is to use, because I'm like, oh, there's this. There's probably like a big how's this gonna work on the phone? I forget that things actually integrate with iOS now. in a better basis, because I thought it was going to be like you download the app and you have to do everything through that app kind of thing. I downloaded it to my Mac. You turn it on. The biggest thing is you had to clear cookies because it still kept coming up every time, no matter what country you were in, like, hey, go to Peacock to sign up kind of thing. But you have to clear cookies, so it clears whatever American cookies that you had that say that. And it's literally when it's cool to watch when you're on an app. And I experienced this going to Thailand, and I queued up Netflix, and the lineup looked different than I was used to here, right? But it's more profound because if you go into the WWE app, and all it is and there it is, that's the app, and the app on the Mac looks the same. It's just a big button that says I'm connected. So I'll just go ahead and connect there. Boom, connected to Docklands, UK. And I can pull up the WWE app, and I get everything that I enjoyed. Now, granted, this is now costing you well over $20, $25 in order to do. But if I see this as a Band-Aid, if you really want to watch that stuff for whatever reason and you're not happy with the Peacock situation, I would not recommend doing it this way to watch like WrestleMania or something. But for like, kind of that back catalog, if that's the thing you want to do, I would go for it. To me, it feels like a Band-Aid until they say by SummerSlam, all that content should be back on Peacock. But of course, there's, are they deleting stuff and things like that? There's like the content thing. And I will point out something that they said that Peacock took out. There was a match between Roddy Piper and Bad News Brown that does not hold up time-wise for reasons. I won't get into it here, but that is also deleted on this version of WWE Network in the UK as well. So I think they kind of Band-Aid that across the spectrum, if you will. I was amazed how easy it is. Fairly inexpensive, works really well on the phone. As far as getting it on, say, your Apple TV or something like that, I believe there is a version of this that you can install on your router. I can't imagine you're going to be able to do that on your Verizon Fios router, but if you buy certain ones, you probably have a little more to do with that. Does that seem right, Chill?
I'm 98% sure newer Apple TVs support VPN.
Right, but I did not see an app for ExpressVPN when I looked. But
okay.
But I don't know if does the app need to exist, or is it one of those like you send a file and settings?
You might be able to send a file or
right.
send a config to it. The one quick, can you do me a favor? Are you right now representing yourself as in the UK?
On my phone? On my phone currently, yes.
Can you open up Google Maps? What does it do?
What does it do? I wish I had the Mac still in the system so I could pull this up. So I'm hitting Google Maps. It says I'm here. I mean, I don't know what's supposed to be
so it's
different.
not. So it's using the GPS. I'm
it's
wondering if you turned off. I'm wondering if you turned off cellular and everything else, and you only had the VPN going.
Would I land up in the middle of Docklands, UK? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Well, so here's where I'm going with this: is, hey, can I start to get Pokemon that I can't get in our country?
No, you got to fool the GPS at that point. That's not about the country.
Yeah, but not every device has a GPS. So
right.
An iPod Touch doesn't have a GPS.
Well, I don't know. Can you do how does this Pokemon work on it? I'm not aware. I mean,
it triangulates off the Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I also think VPNs on that server. It's the server telling you where it's coming from as opposed to location. Like it's kind of two different vectors, right?
Yeah, but I've seen this. And Krause, tell me if you think I'm a lunatic. I've seen this at places like work, where you're using like proxy services, and you go to Google Maps, and obviously there's no GPS, so it's like bouncing you off the state. Yeah. Or the location of your proxy ingress or egress. So
right.
I'm guessing. Like I said, I'm wondering if there's a way to fool.
It's on the internet if there is.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
The other thing is I would be super scared about Niantic banning me in my account because I have many a Pokemon. Because I've picked that up recently again. We've been doing Pokemon walks at least twice a week, so I wouldn't want to lose my account.
Okay. So that's my awesome thing. The ExpressVPN is the awesome thing because I've got a chance to play with it, and I'm looking for other things I can hop into.
If you're coming out of the UK, can't you pick up all the BBC?
TV, I started
TV
poking at that a little because it's been a while since I tried using iPlayer because I was trying to watch like Sherlock and Doctor Who back in the day, before it was a lot easier to watch here, or I watched it when it was like new. You do need to log in with your address, proof of TV license, or purchase a TV license for the UK. So that's been cracked down in other ways. Apparently.
Can people from outside of the UK then purchase a TV license?
I think you can. It appeared you could. I didn't go through the process because not anything I'm up for going for on the BBC right now. And damn it, I'm still trying to justify paying half off price for Paramount Plus. So, but You could. I don't know. It looks like you could. It appears you could. Oh, fun thing. When I signed up for the WWE Network, it says what country you in. I put the UK, and then I still just filled out my American address, and it took it. Sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just like, no way this works. Holy crap, this worked. So that's how it is. A Wrestling Mayhem show. I go through the steps of doing this for the WWE Network. I just did the gloss over version now, basically. But go check that out. So, Krause, let's go to you. Let's talk about gaming, because you started playing something. I also started playing something, and I have a feeling we're gonna start talking about a lot more than we were awesome thing of the week.
Yeah, the Outriders. It's a new game. Came to Xbox Game Pass. Day one.
Mm-hmm.
I had not, as we had talked earlier, I had not heard of this game whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
I literally saw friends playing it and was like, what is that? Oh, look at that. It's on Game Pass. Download. And I started playing it, and it's awesome. Sci-fi shooter. It feels, what did we say earlier?
Like Destiny meets Mass Effect, I think you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it has some Mass Effect feels to it. It's,
Okay.
Very cool.
So similar here. Everybody was going crazy about it, and I'm like, all right, I'll download it. Like, it was getting recommended and stuff. Like, we'll check. Oh, it's from Square Enix. It's not like a Bethesda thing. That's actually a big deal, right? It said day and date. It's full price, and it's on every platform. And I think it does have crossplay, although I think they've been having server issues.
Yes, it does have crossplay.
So I start playing this thing, and I watched a little bit of like the launch trailer here as I was loading, because the first load time was like pretty long on my old original Xbox One. So I didn't know about the superpowers part of it.
Yeah.
So I'm going around like, oh, this is a nice lush environment. Okay, I could get into this. And then like all hell breaks loose.
Yep.
I've only played up to like basically I played through basically the prologue of the game, and got to like the hub world where you do the multiplayer stuff, and that's where I ended at that time. And by the way, my playthrough is over on the Sorgatron Twitch page if you want to see any little bit of that. Because you wake up and it's just like everything is madness, and you're on a new world, and it's pretty good. It's a fun shooter. I don't want to say in the style of Gears of War, like that's what I think of, because you have that kind of duck and cover gameplay going on.
Yeah,
there.
there's cover system to it. So yeah, I can see that too.
But yeah, so it's interesting. And what did we talk about? It's not a game I would have dropped money for. I would have been excited enough to do that, but it's on Game Pass, so I'm going to dive into it.
Exactly. It's one of those games where you go, would I purchase this? Probably not. But it's there, so and my friends are all playing it, so let's play it,
Right.
Is there any single player mode, or it's finish the prologue and it's all multiplayer?
No, I believe you can go through the whole game on your own, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The headlines
or
I saw.
just with friends.
The headlines I saw were like, you can play this through one player, but why would you?
Right.
So
the other one that's big, that's now become very big in our house, does it support multiplayer split screen? I never thought I would ask that question in my life.
I don't honestly know. I don't know that answer. I can look.
Because I'm surprised at how many games do and because it's like 50-50. It's like I'm surprised at some games that don't support multiplayer split screen, and then I'm surprised at other games that do support multiplayer split screen. So,
John, you know
never
I
know.
have an Xbox One Day One edition, right?
No, but here's the problem. We have two in our house as well,
Right.
but we want to play in the same room, sit next to each other.
Well, old school, man.
No,
Bring
no,
the
no,
TV
no.
down,
No,
like
no,
we
I need
used
to,
do in
I
the
need to,
LAN
I
party.
need
Krause.
to, I need to set up the 3 TV model,
No,
like we cover on the show.
Krause, you're missing a key element. I'm sorry, Chichilla, you're missing a key element. I'm really Ron for no reason.
Yeah.
So, I was missing a key element that I think we brought up before you got on the pre-show. You don't need another TV. One, you got a million screens there. You got tablets, you got iPads.
Yes.
All you got to do is prop up your iPad on the coffee table, sir, or however that works
That's
for
so
you.
Small.
What do you mean it's so? What do you?
I got
You don't got.
big
Wait.
inches of 4K.
Big badass Chilla don't have an iPad Pro sitting around because playing Rocket League on this thing on NVIDIA GeForce Now is fantastic for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wonder what would be the easiest one to take.
I mean, you got things.
Any
Get
other-
some duct
I
tape
have-
and strap
no,
the
I mean, I have
the damn thing to your
30
face.
I have a 32-inch 4K spare panel back there.
Spare
See
panel.
that one right there?
Just hanging around.
then
It's
go
literally
up-
hanging on
then,
the wall.
Then grab a laptop. Grab a
I don't want
PC
to grab the laptop. I want to grab that one, the big 32-inch 4K.
No. Bring your 32-inch 4K
Well, you
up.
plug an Xbox.
Bring your
into it, so
Yeah.
plug your. Okay, I was gonna say without you like uprooting the Xbox. Okay, just do it.
Well, so the funny part is the one that's upstairs barely gets turned on.
Right.
Well,
But-
there you go. Now you'll
So
have
I
a
could
reason
bring
to
the
turn
other
it
one
on.
down.
You bring it
I could bring
down.
the other one down.
I'm just saying, if you're like, I don't want to have to disconnect and move things throughout my house, like
No, I'm just
you
gonna
can
put a stack of
stream to
Xboxes
a
downstairs.
device. I sit there when Missy needs to watch something on Netflix, and I come in halfway through after finishing these shows, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here with my phone and an Xbox controller, and I'm gonna play my Xbox games on remote from the Xbox, and that's fine.
That's a beautiful
fine.
thing.
I'm gonna play Donut County and just chill. Okay, just chill.
We
I'm gonna-
have done it where one person's on a Switch and one person's on the TV.
I'm gonna play some Rocket League and just chill right here, okay?
Mhm.
Just with it's an 8+, so it's a bigger phone screen, but it's been pretty fantastic. So, okay. I want to get back to Game Pass and some of the things because I mean Outriders of course was a big standout for that this past week, but of course there's a lot more happening there as far as that goes. So but before we get down, we'll give a shout out to our friends at Slice on Broadway. Oh, wait a minute, we got something here.
Wow,
I'm
he had
back.
to get up.
Look at that! I can show you.
Whoa!
I can
Look
show you. I
out.
don't have my
In
headphones on
person.
right now. No, we got I actually brought a pizza in here because we do have a guest coming here later this evening for the Wrestling Mayhem show. We're slightly starting to bring people in, but there it is, your Slice on Broadway. Hold on, let me visualize it, smell it through your internets.
Oh,
There
I'm
you
hungry.
go.
The smell-o-vision.
Hope that was on the camera. I couldn't see it. But we talk about our friends there in New York City style. Yins are made. Oh, I just ran out of breath there doing that. So, Beachview, Carnegie, East End, North Hills. It's been a long day, guys. It's not like I've been sitting all day. And also we talked about. Hey, look, there's the stuff right there. There's the oath. There is the official oath of the SOB. Slice on Broadway. I didn't realize those initials. I, insert name here, swear to eat the pizza, the whole pizza, and nothing but the pizza. I may have had those nights. But of course, we talk about, I'm going to give you part 5 of our 6-part series, What's on the Box? You see right there, steal one of our ideas, share your own, tag Slice on Broadway, what to do with your pizza box after you're done eating the delicious insides. Don't eat the probably delicious from holding it outsides of the cardboard. That's probably cannot recommend that. We're no doctors on this show, but number 5 of our 6-part series: store your socks inside so your feet can always smell like pizza. Okay. All right. Sure. Okay. So there, yeah, I never got that far apparently. so there you go, our friends at Slice on Broadway, sliceonbroadway.com, 4 locations. Beachview, Carnegie, East End, and North Hills, I believe, is open by now. I need to check on that. Our North Hillers here in Pittsburgh, but go check them out. They've been supporting the show for a good long time here on the AwesomeCast and Sorgatron Media. So I'm going to put this pizza box back, and Krause, I want you to tell me about some of this Game Pass news. Just pick one, and I'll fill in.
Okay, the Game Pass news. MLB The Show
What?
is coming day and date to Game Pass.
What?
And by the way, that is a game that was built by Sony. How about them apples? And you just gotta wonder, the people that own or are in that ecosystem, are they kicking themselves for being there? I don't know.
I don't know if they're. Oh, go ahead.
Wasn't Sony caught saying that the Game Pass was unsustainable and it would never work. And
Yes.
there was like
Well,
a couple comments they made about how the model just wouldn't be sustainable, and now they're moving
Well,
over. No, I mean they're doing it themselves, and they're moving over to other people's versions of it.
so we need to qualify that a moment, because Sony, we talked about this a little bit on the pre-show at length, but there is something about the deal with MLB. So if you pull this up when it comes out later this month, and you pull up MLB The Show 21 on your Game Pass, it will not say it's published by Sony. It will say it's published by MLB. The deal for Game Pass was made by between Microsoft and MLB, supposedly. Okay? So this is something about the Major League Baseball license that made this happen. Not necessarily a Sony decision. They probably fought it, but whatever provision in that, you know, and I don't know if there's a lot of Major League Baseball games. I don't know, is this the only one? How Madden's the only football game, right? But being that, you know, there's maybe something where it's like this has to be across platforms, and that's potentially what led to this. So it's not just a Sony has given up, thrown their hands up. It's also a, you know, MLB's involved, and that's probably a bigger entity than most of these guys. So
I just think it's very interesting, though, the whole idea that this game is going to come out day and date, and you're seeing that more and more, you know, with Game Pass. It's such a value. You know, I know we've talked about it before, and especially if you buy your new Xbox through their whole program. You know, I don't even think about this now for 2 years. I don't think about Xbox Live. I don't think about Game Pass. It just all happens. It's all rolled up into one, you know, monthly bill that I get from the finance company, and I pay my bill, and it's done. You know what I mean? And it's wonderful. I've played so many games now that I probably, like we said earlier, games that I probably would have never played before because I would have never spent the money on them. Because, oh, hey, I see a friend playing this game. Let me go see what this game is. Oh, it's on Game Pass. Let me just download it. The next thing you know, I'm playing it.
Yeah, and I love that idea where you're like, hey, my friends are playing this. Is this something I have in my collection? Like, that's awesome. Yeah, it's been, and I've been, like I said, I've been doing the points and just dumping in the games I never would have taken a moment with, even sitting there on Game Pass. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this game. Maybe I'll stick with it. Maybe I'll come back later down the road. Who knows, right? So.
And if you really hate it, you uninstall it and try something else.
And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Have you tried Subnautica?
Yes.
I've really enjoyed that one.
What was it
Very
called?
good game.
And that's one I would have never played, never tried out, had someone not recommended it to me, and the fact that it was free.
So
or rolled up into the game.
It was what was it called?
Subnautica.
Subnautica. Is that one that just came out?
No, it's been out for a while.
And it's on PC too. I think it may have started as a PC game that got
I
ported.
think it did start as PC.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And I will say, I would guess if you have Game Pass Ultimate, it's a little easier to play on the PC than it is on
this is pretty wild.
Xbox.
So it's like an undersea adventure kind
like
of
a survival adventure.
Yes.
Oh.
The only
you've
thing
crash landed.
I wish it had multiplayer.
That would be cool. And I heard they came out with is it a sequel or a additional patch?
Well, this says a sequel to it, but it also still says Seaworthy is apparently the expansion sequel kind of thing. So, but
the Below Zero is not the one. I think that it was the original. I have it was just.
But still,
Subnautica
to dive into something like that, and big news as far as that, because there's that, and then Apple Arcade had a tremendous update this past week. On Friday, they were up to 180 plus games. Now, damn them for getting me back into Threes. You remember Threes, the tile number game? They released through Apple Arcade, Monument Valley, Threes, Fruit Ninja, and a bunch of other classic games. Cut the Rope remastered is part of it, but all the ones that are just basically the same game but with a plus by it. It's for Apple Plus, Arcade Plus or whatever. They're the same game. My save games are still there from when I played Threes and got a high score of 9,000 something, right? So damn you for bringing it back to my attention. but also they have a game from the Final Fantasy creators. They have a version, we'll say a version of NLB. I'm sorry, get my letters messed up. NBA 2K Arcade Edition, which is great because I'm not really into the simulators. It's got some wild, good-looking stuff on here from some great developers. So I mean, it's nothing that's like a real, like, you know, it's not a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog or anything like that, or, you know, big brand stuff. But if you're just like, I want to play some wild new games, this is kind of the place to be. One of them that I've been playing, other than threes, damn you, is one that came out last week called Wonderbox. It's called The Adventure Maker. It is kind of, do you remember that game Fez, where everything was kind of like a square spinning level kind of situation? It's like that. It's kind of that platformer kind of thing, but a little more, you know, adventure-y kind of area. And I think what they're showing, I think you can actually build some of these levels. You know, it's got a, you know, it looks great, plays great on the phone. You know, both in touch with the controller. I was playing with it a little bit on my Apple TV as well. And the whole, you know, the whole idea is you go through the path and then like you spin the level and you can find like other secret passages and things like that. Like everything's like on this like floating box of a thing. I am now a cat, by the way, playing this thing. And there's a frog too. Look at him. So Wonderbox was the one I've been playing. But again, it's just a lot of cool stuff for Discovery there. Speaking of Discovery, there's a Star Trek game. It's like an RPG game. It looks like one of those games that you would be like. It looks like a game that should have freemium options to it. Like I should have gems and here's all the characters, like the Power Rangers game or the Dragon Ball game, where like here's all the characters but you gotta like upgrade and buy them and stuff, right? It's like that, but it doesn't have the annoying freemium stuff to it. It's like this weird kind of Star Trek RPG, you know, Final Fantasy looking RPG kind of turn-based situation. So yeah, Apple Arcade's been really, really bumping up, and it's a lot right now for $5 if you have an Apple device, you know, especially if you got bigger screens like an iPad or an Apple TV. It's really worthwhile, and just throw an Xbox controller on there and you're good to go. So,
have you played this? What is it? Skate Park?
I think it's just called Skate City, maybe. It's basically the
It's Skate City.
Skate City.
That was pretty cool.
Yes.
And then trying to see here. Is this arcade?
Mini Motorways has been a good one for me. You know, just diving into the other random things. And again, Lego Brawls is still fun. They're in pirate mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Jurassic Park, Jurassic World level that's been a lot of fun lately. But the Skate City game, that was one. I think that's one from the Aldo's Adventure group, right?
We actually found it when we were in the Apple Store not too long ago.
Yeah, and it's
and it was on the device. It was on one of the devices there. Christopher was playing.
Oh
it.
yeah, that's one they definitely put over. Their Apple Arcade display is pretty tremendous. I was there when I was getting my I actually got my battery replaced in my 8 Plus. So I'm trying to last at least until the next one, and I've had this phone. Chilla, I've had this phone for 3 years. This is the last one. This is the same year the X came out, right? And I played an ungodly amount for it because you know it's got like 256 of gigs on it. It's got, you know, whatever high end camera they had at the time and everything. And I was like, damn it, I'm gonna $50 to get another 6 months out of this thing. I'm in. To give me 3.5 years with the same phone. That's ridiculous. And I don't feel...
Oh, that's not bad for a battery at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm right on the edge. So Missy got the X at the same time I did, that was the choices at the time, right, of the new phones. Mm-hmm. Starting with the X and basically everything that's form factor on there, it was $50 for basically 8 Plus and below, and then it is $70 for everything else that's an X and up, which still isn't bad.
That's still not bad.
Still not bad. I obviously run mine probably a little harder than hers does, so I don't think she needs it. But it was just, I'm traveling. I don't want to take this to an airport, and the thing's not going to last, right? So that was basically the only motivation for that. Batteries are my issue. I took my MacBook in because the battery was swelling again. Like, batteries are always my issue, as long as I'm not dropping my phones in the toilet again. like I did those years ago. But but yeah, what else we got to talk about? I think that's it. Video games wise, Among Us is going to get 15-player lobbies and new art style. I think a new level came out there. I gotta get an Among Us party going again. It's been about a month or two since we've
I
been
have
doing
that game installed, but I've never played it. With people.
Oh, speaking of parties, Krause, we need to make that happen.
There was a new level, and I think it launched on some other system first, but it just came to iOS in the past, I think.
The
week.
airship.
Because I actually had to pay it. You know, they'll nickel and dime you any way they can, right?
Oh yeah.
I had to pay $1. I either had to give up some of my Social Security information, or I had to pay $1.
What?
So I could validate Christopher on Among Us.
What?
Because of his birthday.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So like I had to it prompted me on his device for my email address. Then they sent an email from whatever the company was. I actually went and validated it. And it was like, are you approving your child for, you had to check 2 boxes. It was about text chat and name, like naming your character because it's free form text. And you had to sign off on those as a parent. But then I had to prove that I was of age. And the only way to do it was through a Social Security check, or I guess they figure if you're old enough to have a debit card, credit card, you're old enough to validate. So I had to pay $1.
It feels wild to me for any video game to request your Social Security number. So
that was the one that I did not feel comfortable with. I'm like, I can give them a randomly generated credit card number that will never work again, but I can't imagine what it takes to change your Social Security number.
No, I think you can, but good luck. Real ID was a hassle for my wife. You know, I can't imagine Social Security number. Where are we at? In this? E3 is happening, Chilla. Right?
Yeah, so I noticed that today, and interestingly enough, so E3 has announced they will be online only.
Okay.
And they will be open to the public for free to virtually attend from June 12th to 15th. Microsoft and Nintendo have stated they will be a part of it. There's some other companies, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, Warner Brothers, amongst others, saying that they'll be part of the lineup, but there's some definite notable omissions. Sony, EA, which I'm surprised if with EA's, maybe Microsoft will speak to some of the EA stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, they can just kind of piggyback some of those announcements with their partnerships, right? At that point.
Yeah, and Blizzard has their own, so that's no big surprise to me. Square Enix, which they've been struggling, so I'm surprised they're not going to do something. Sega and Bandai Namco. But yeah, so I'm excited for this. I'm hoping we get some good Nintendo news, along with, I was bummed this week that, or just in the last couple of days, the new Star Wars Skywalker saga has been delayed indefinitely, which for as far along as they are with that, I'm surprised, but they said they're not going to make their original intended spring release. So hopefully to get updates on that, as well as maybe some Metroid information. But
it's surprising too that so many of these people canceled, especially with it being digital. Like you think it would save them some money to not have to put up the big booth and all that stuff.
Well, it's probably like a cost benefit thing, because I think as we're seeing with things like WWDC just got announced last week, and that's going to be all digital once again. And I think what you're finding is a lot of these guys, going to E3 even in a digital platform, is you're going to be there making your announcements alongside everybody else making their announcements, and everybody's been doing their own pre-recorded live streamed from their website kind of thing. Ubisoft, I know, has been doing that. Nintendo's been doing it before it was cool, or at least required. So, damn it, they had puppets versions of Reggie in their videos. I think they're determining it's like, hey, if we do like a live video announcement on a random Tuesday that nobody else is doing anything, we control a news cycle versus competing with everybody else for the week of E3. Like it's
So they get buried in the noise.
yeah, it's like it's a cost benefit, and now you're fighting the noise. You know, I mean, there's a little bit of like rah that goes along with it, but it's not about the cost of the booth at that point. It's about the ROI.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, return on investment for those that maybe not know. So we actually talk about it over on the Mindfulness podcast. It's usually a startup thing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. All right, I see we are running up against our recording time here, so I'm going to let, if we have enough time to kind of fit them in, Krause and Chilla, Krause, let's go with you first. Go ahead and pull up a story you want us to talk about here.
Well, you know what? I actually wanted more of everybody's input. I don't know if you guys saw, but Microsoft, in amongst all the announcements and the COVID and all that stuff, but Microsoft decided that they're going to delay going back into the office until September 7th.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was shocked by that. Not only that, I was just curious what even our listeners, what they think about the whole work from home situation.
Yeah.
Did you see the ZDNet article about Microsoft did an analysis of their own corporate culture and what was going on with their work from home?
No.
So that was about like how the meetings went up and everything like that, right? Because
so there was that one, but no, they did one more research. Or are you talking about where they were going to do? They did virtual. They kind of pitched virtual.
It was talking about since this the time in meetings went up and everything. Like the work, like whatever you could measure on their system went up. Productivity wise, like in a measurable sense, as far as like time on meetings, time on computer, time on emails, time in workspace, like those kinds of things improved across the board.
Yeah, this is actually, if you go down to item 17, I just copied the article from ZDNet in there, and it's pretty much Microsoft revealed the latest truths about working from home, and one is truly disturbing. If you go into the article, 52% of work is being done between 6 p.m. and midnight from a work trending, but that doesn't mean that it's not 100% of people on before 6. Pretty much what they're saying is people are working ridiculously long hours.
Oh, is it long or is it parents?
It's not shift based.
Or is it parents that are avoiding actually getting stuff done when their kids are asleep?
That's not the way they made it sound.
Okay.
In fact, currently Microsoft research says 37% of employees say companies are making them work too hard. 37%, and then they're estimating another 37% are worried their responses will get back to their bosses. And then 41% admitted they wanted to find a new employer.
Interesting.
I'm guessing there's some concern around, are we in the clear? I think there's some concern around, are there people, to your point, parents, that if school is not in person and everything is kind of not back to normal, there's a parent problem. There's caring for loved ones problem. I mean, I think there's still numerous problems out there that just haven't been 100% solved.
Yeah.
But then I think there's some other psychological / managerial items that need to be figured out before you return to the workplace.
Yeah. Ponder's in the chat room, and he's saying about how going back will be weird, especially depending on the vaccination situation. He says he's thinking fear, work because you just survived the layoffs just last year. That's the other thing. Everybody's like, oh God, I still have a job. I need to make sure I keep it, and they're putting in the extra time, right? So and also, I mean, Chilla, you've worked from home for a bit here, and I think you were before the pandemic. Krause, I don't know if you were, but I mean, myself, I've been doing it for 10 years, and there's a muscle that you have to flex in compartmentalizing things when you work from home and your home space is not your workspace. Your home space is your workspace, and that just like kills the barrier situation. And now a lot of people just got thrust into that. And a lot of those people are not going to fare well with that, or apparently have not been faring well with their work-life balance in that, fantasy world.
Yeah, like I said, I was more curious than anything else because, like you said, I was working from home. Oh gosh, I have to think now. It's been a while. 3 days a week on a pretty regular basis before the whole pandemic thing, and then so I just went to 5 days a week from home. And don't get me wrong, the monotony of it all does get a little crazy. I wake up in the morning, I go downstairs, I work, I come upstairs, I'm not working, and then I go to watch a little TV, then I go to bed, and like literally Monday through Friday I don't leave my house usually. So I get that. And as a person, I've had my first COVID shot. I think, have we all now had our first shots?
Yeah.
I had my first one today, and I have my second one on the 27th.
Yeah. So, once I have the shot, I probably wouldn't mind going back into the office. I ride public transportation, so that might make me a little more hesitant to go back into the office. But, it is what it is, I guess. It's going to happen one of these days, right?
Right. And I don't know at what point. Yeah, I mean, at least you're protected, or hopefully, like I'm at the point where like most people around me have it. Have the vaccine.
But don't forget, just because you have the shot doesn't mean you can still get COVID.
Right. It's not 100% or anything like that.
Right.
There's always a chance. So, I mean, I'm getting the shot, and then I'm traveling to Tucson, Arizona for a job. So, like, it's not like we're gonna be throwing our masks off and stuff. But but if it's and everybody's doing the math here. Playing devil's advocate, of course. It's like everybody's saying, hey, we've done these mitigations. There's going to be a version of these mitigations in our offices that we've already been doing. Everybody knows how to do this. Whether it's part-time days or whatever the case may be. And some of the sorry, giving a door code to somebody. Some of the offices are going to want people in sooner than others because that's just what they want, right? For whatever they do. So I mean, that's going to be a battle. That's definitely going to be a battle. So it'll be interesting to see. I think it's smarter to push things back. We're starting to let people into the studio here. That's a decision we're making, but very limited. It's like we.
Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't plan on giving up the mask anytime soon.
No, me neither. And there's a disagreement on that in my own household. So,
And I'll be honest with you, if nothing else, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I haven't been sick since I started wearing a mask.
Yep. And again, then of course I had my bout, but who knows where I got it from? It could have been a job I had, that wasn't terribly taking precautions enough, or it could have been, somebody I was in the checkout line counter with at Sheets. Who knows? So,
right.
All right. At that point, I think you guys both brought up a story there as part of that. So. Chilla on the Twitters. You'll be talking about stuff. I'll be asking you about VPNs as I'm playing with stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Do they have like a free trial, even like a couple day free trial? Do you get a kickback if you sign me up?
So I did apply for the affiliate because I was going to put the affiliate link on the video that I put up just in case it does well. So I don't know if that's a free trial situation. Check the Twit ad. That's the worst thing to say. Don't check our ad. Check the Twit ad. I'm sure they got something going on.
Sorg.
This is why I don't. This is why I lean on Patreon because I can't sell shit. Okay, so that's how this. Whoops, wrong show. So. Crazy Krause on the Twitters.
That would be me.
And I think that's also your game tag on Xbox as well,
yes,
right?
it is.
There
It's
you
my
go.
gamer tag on Xbox.
There you go.
Anybody wants to play, hit me up.
Be his friend and play some
That's
Outriders.
right.
Hopefully get a crew. We're talking about like I need a buddy on Xbox to play Outriders with. And he's like, yeah, that's great. I'm like, I'm gonna tell you, I got weird hours. He's like, well, I still
you
got.
got Chilla times 2 now, so that's like a full team right there.
That's true.
At the
Ooh,
Chill
that's
House,
true.
you know.
That is true. We have to. Hey, yeah.
So if you're throwing together a what was the game you were talking about earlier?
Outriders
Outriders
or Among Us. Among Us.
Among Us or the car /
Oh,
game or whatever.
So I want to put this out there because we did this in
Rocket League.
soccer game, Rocket League.
So
yeah.
if you're throwing that around, I mean, we'll definitely jump into
Well,
that.
of course, we got our Slack, but we'll put this out there. We started this over on Wrestling Mayhem Show. We started a Discord server for our Wrestling Mayhem Show Patreon supporters. So if our Patreons out there would like something similar on AwesomeCast, if nothing else, to coordinate things like Among Us in Rocket League, like, let
great.
us know.
I'd sign up.
I mean, like, we're all on Slack, so we can do it within our own circle here. But if we can open that up to a Patreon, it could be an extra benefit maybe. So I think that definitely needs to happen. Not this week, but. I say, hey, let's get together. By the way, it's WrestleMania week every freaking night, and I have to go to Michigan this week. So one day when I have time again, it's going to take another pandemic, I know. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Please let us know your thoughts on a lot of our stories that we have throughout the night. Thank you, Amanda and Podner, and everybody else that's been checking out in the live stream throughout the night. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll have stories of the Build-A-Bear Animal Crossing coming up when Katie comes back. We should have Amanda on next week, too. Amanda, that's your invite. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you. You are awesome, audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.